You guys, I really tried to be on time today. I really tried to be on time today. But between me figuring out how to not be in direct sunlight in this office and construction going on in this house outside, maintenance people, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many things going on right now. I'm just trying to go live. And then problems with my notes. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, I didn't even get to do my prompt post. So I hope people know we're live today. After all this trouble, I hope people find us and log in today and can join us for some information. I'm awkwardly leaning because there is this situation happening, and I don't want that on my face. Remember last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about UV awareness. Yeah, and how important it is to protect yourself from the most intense UV rays, which are right now, right now, 11 to 1, right? Oh, dear me. I digress. Anyway, I'm going to share this. Let's see if we can get some people joining today. I'm going to share this on my personal page, and I'm going to share it on more and more. Let's see if I can do that. Here we go. Oh, we got some people joining. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Here. Okay, here we go. Let's, oh, interesting. Something's going on with, no? Okay, here. Good morning, Carrie. All right, I'm gonna try and share this here. All right, and I'm gonna share this on more group. Go. Next. Okay. Here we go, guys. It's been a morning. Hello, Lupus, Facebook Live support chats. Welcome all. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but the More Than Lupus Facebook page has over 10,000 followers, which is cool. It took a minute to get there. Good morning to you. But I'm thrilled to be able to report that. That might be small beans in regards to some of the bigger platforms out there for lupus awareness and advocacy, but we are pretty small here, and so that's nothing to sneeze at in my book. So I'm very thrilled to announce that we have over 10,000 Facebook followers. We're gaining steam on Instagram, and of course the Twitterverse or X or whatever you call it these days. Social media is a lot of work. Creating content is a lot of work. Keeping people engaged, playing the game of the algorithms and all of that. It's quite the science these days. It's like you have to get a degree and to figure out what is the best way to keep people engaged and to keep your platform growing. It takes a lot of energy and effort. I'm trying my best to keep up with all the changes. So thanks again to everyone who has followed us over the last 8 years. We're thrilled. 10,000 followers, like I said, nothing to brush away. I think that's awesome. And here's to more. So yeah. And the only way that we can keep going and doing this work is through your support. If you can pledge monthly to help us continue our work here, that would be amazing. If you can give a one-time in-kind donation, all donations are tax deductible. We are a 501c3. We have been since the beginning. We don't take paychecks here. We literally use every penny, even though pennies are becoming obsolete, towards lupus awareness, lupus support, lupus advocacy, and so there you go. let me introduce myself. Well, actually, no, let me just kind of go back. I want to go back and then I'll introduce myself for any of you who don't know who I am. As people start to log in, do what I just did, and please share this on your personal Facebook page so that people can get connected to a community of support and resources. It is July 28th, people. How is that even possible? I don't even know. Today is Monday. I'm very happy to be back with you. After being away, my husband and I did a little quick trip without our son, shocking, to a couple hours away with some good friends. So happy to be back. It was a wonderful time of just rest and very little responsibility, which never really happens. So it's very, very renewing. And I want to let you know too, today's an exciting day. You know why? Because today is National Milk Chocolate Day. This is like my holiday. This is my day, guys. National Milk Chocolate Day, which by the way is the best. And if you tell me that you think white chocolate is chocolate, sorry, you are wrong. You are wrong. Milk chocolate is so good. I love it. It's my favorite. It's celebrated, I'll have you know, annually every July 28th. Yeah. And this is when solid chocolate, this is the science behind it, I'm nerding out, is combined with either powdered, liquid, or condensed milk. Okay. And then it's known as milk chocolate. So solid chocolate with powder, liquid, or condensed milk. Okay. And milk chocolate is the most popular member of the chocolate family. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's mostly what's used in candy bars. Now there's a lot of fancy different candy bars. It's believed to go back all the way to the 1800s in the form of a bar, like a milk chocolate bar, that we recognize today. So it's been around for a while, and first started milk chocolate first started in Germany, and then it went to a bar form, and then the Swiss kind of took it over a little bit, and when a chocolatier, Daniel Peter, collaborated with Henri Nestle, the founder of Nestle Toll House chocolate company, they started to get into chocolate chips and doing all that stuff. So if you're a true chocoholic like me, get ready to celebrate today. I'm hoping I can. Just so you know, Hershey's has been in the news recently because they're raising their prices. Hershey has some bitter, not so sweet news for you. The famed candy brand will be raising its prices due to cocoa costs and supply issues. They're saying it's not directly related to the tariffs, but oh boy, they haven't stated how much the consumers will now have to pay for their confections, but they're saying the bars will be likely in the low double digits. Remember when you used to be able to get a candy bar, a Hershey bar for like, I don't know, 50 cents? Double digits? Holy cow. That is crazy. So get your candy now. Get your milk chocolate now before the Hershey prices skyrocket. Right before Halloween. Yeah? Oh my goodness. So anyway, today is also big segue that's not related. Today is also World Hepatitis Day, which is not as fun to talk about, obviously. But World Hepatitis Day is a public health holiday that's held every year to raise awareness about hepatitis, which is a group of infectious diseases that attack the liver and affect people all over the globe. And the reason I'm talking about World Hepatitis Day is that lupus can indeed impact liver function. Many of you who are watching this now or streaming this later have had issues with your liver enzymes and liver function. In fact, 60%, so that's more than half if you're doing your fractions, 60% of patients with systemic lupus have liver abnormalities at some point in the duration of their illness. Now, yes, I know some medication can cause your liver levels to be a little out of whack as well, but I'm talking about liver abnormalities that are related to autoimmune hepatitis and transaminitis, and that can be present with disease activity symptoms such as jaundice itchy skin, yellowing eyes, that kind of thing. And hepatitis or HCV is considered a different diagnosis. But here is a great article on lupus and the liver for World Hepatitis Day that you can read later. I'll just put that there for you. This month is also PTSD Awareness Month, which we talked about at the beginning of the month, Chronic Illness Awareness Month, Sun Sensitivity UV Awareness Month, which we talked about last week, and National Scleroderma Month. I was going to talk about scleroderma today, but I kind of would like to bring on and kind of highlight people who live with it and make a space for people who shared about their scleroderma struggles and diagnostic journey here. Instead of me speaking on behalf of them, I'm always very careful to not take the oxygen out of the room and allow space at the table for those who are having the lived experience themselves. Since I don't have scleroderma as a lupus overlap condition. So I went there and then I pivoted a little bit for today. So we're going to just continue to talk about these things though and highlight these things on our platforms and do the best that we can to cover a lot of information for these national educational months. Yeah. So anyway, let me introduce myself. I am not seeing many people here. Is that just on my end? Let me know if you're here. Tell me where you're joining from, your name, if you have lupus or a lupus overlap condition, and any questions, any comments and concerns. There's a massive fly circling my office right now, and I hope it's not going to bother me this whole time. And I hope it's not going to bother you too. Anyway, I digress. And then tell me questions, comments, concerns. Maybe you are going to the rheumatologist in a few days, like me. I'm going tomorrow. You want to know what is the best way to get the best bang for your buck? How can you prioritize what you have to say in the time that you're given? Maybe you have a question about a symptom, a medication that you're considering, a lab test, a treatment, alternative therapies, physical activities, working questions, all of that. Go ahead and post it here and we'll do our best to kind of look at everything. Looks like can't tell who's on with me today, but I'll do my best to see everything before I log off today. So if you are familiar with who I am, if you're joining on YouTube, hi, Facebook, hi. My name is Kelly, and I am the creator and executive director of the Portland-based nonprofit More Than Lupus. And we've been around for several years now. If you're unfamiliar with More Than Lupus, we are a multi-ethnic, multi-generational, and international lupus community designed by lupus patients to connect and to grow and to inspire each other throughout the peaks and the valleys of our lupus journeys. And I say our because I have lived with systemic lupus and multiple lupus overlap conditions since the age of 11. And it's been kind of a crazy ride. I've had good times, I've had bad times, I've had in-between times with this. I've been hospitalized dozens of times. Longest hospital stay was for 5 months. Yes, 5 months, almost half a year. Yeah, and it was pretty crappy. I've had dozens of surgeries, 4 knee surgeries, stuff on my kidneys, stuff on my neck, the drill, and been through many rounds of pretty intense immunosuppressive therapy and steroidal therapies. I'm still on steroids. I've been on them for decades now, and I'm on the typical cocktail of medications for lupus, highly medicated at all times is like what I say in jest, but I don't jest because it's very serious and I understand. Now, we believe that every person here living with lupus, no matter their background, should be treated with equity, with dignity, and taken seriously. And it's our mission that patients feel heard and feel seen and feel valued. This is especially important, and you've heard me say this before, if you are just diagnosed with lupus, you're just finding us, we see you. We know how overwhelming it can be. I know this is for you. We highly encourage you to check out morethanlupus.com. We've got, I don't know, close to 150 blogs there, all written by lupus patients or medical professionals. We've got 95% of our blogs written by lupus patients, 5% therapists, social worker, rheumatologist. Okay. One person had scleroderma. So, we're not posting a bunch of stuff written by people who have a different don't have the same lived experience. Okay. It's really important to us. So check it out. We've got everything on our website, from lifestyle to symptom management to, checklists to talking about new treatments and diagnostics, all of that. So we have a few updates. First, let me tell you that we already had our potluck picnic, which was last week. It was great. We loved it. It was so fun meeting in person. And we had our Zoom meeting as well. So our next Zoom is going to be in August. Now, typically, our Zoom meetings are the third. There we go. Dang, that sunbeam. It's driving me nuts. Typically, our support groups are the third Saturday of the month, okay? Which would be August 16th. But I am double booked that day. And I would like to see if we can push it back a week and move our Zoom support group to the 23rd. So those of you who are watching this now, streaming this later, who join us for our Zoom support group, please let me know if moving it back a week to the 23rd of August works for you. Same time, 3 p.m. or 6 p.m. Or if that time doesn't work for you, we can move it earlier a little bit too. So please let me know. And if you're not receiving our emails and you would like to be added to our email list and receive the Zoom invites to log in, please just let us know in the comment box here. We'll do our best to get you added. So yeah. Also, too, reminder to check out our YouTube and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are growing there as well. We have all of our educational events with Dr. Thomas. The one that he did, What People Need to Know to Live Their Best Life with Lupus, is a must watch. Also, Getting to the Heart of the Matter, and then he did one on kidney nephritis. Those 3 are worth their weight in gold. Go to our YouTube and watch. They are amazing. So many pearls of wisdom, so engaging. He is wonderful, and we appreciate Dr. Thomas. If you don't know, who wrote the Lupus Encyclopedia, which is the must-have book for every person who has lupus or knows someone living with lupus, that you can support them. It's also for medical professionals. It is incredible, and he is so generously given of his time and his talents and just wisdom to us. So go and watch those, please. You will not be disappointed. Before I go any further, let me give a brief disclaimer, since I tend to get ahead of myself. So listen up. Here's the disclaimer for today's discussion. The More Than Lupus Facebook Lupus Live support chats are aimed to be a positive and open space where you can both give and receive support and encouragement from others. I am not a doctor. I am not Kelly MD. Therefore, I cannot give you medical advice or diagnose the symptoms that you may be having. All that I can do, what we can do at More Than Lupus, is provide you with information and resources that you can take back to your doctors and hopefully have an open and honest conversation about what is the best course of action for you and your unique one-of-a-kind lupus journey. Additionally, this group is intended for those living with lupus or lupus overlap illness. It's also intended to provide support and encouragement to those who know someone living with lupus, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a loved one, a neighbor. If you don't fall into these 2 categories, this is not the right chat for you. Please keep all comments appropriate. Any inappropriate or negative material will be deleted. And since we are coming here live from YouTube and Facebook, sometimes every once in a while these chats get shared in group that they shouldn't be shared in, and you'll see some comments pop up. I see them. I wish it didn't happen, but it does. We get spammed every once in a while. I will get rid of it, and I will tell you my famous saying: don't engage, refresh your page, right? Don't spend any morsel of your precious energy engaging in riffraff that you know shouldn't be here. I see it, I get rid of it, and all you have to do is refresh your page, and it'll be gone. Okay. Also, I want to remind you, please, please, please share this again on your personal Facebook page. The more you share, the more you care. Actually, no, the more you care, the more you share, the more others are aware. There it is. There it is. Awesome. Okay, today I went back and forth on today's topic, and I decided to settle on. I've been talking a lot lately about healthy boundaries. And I know we've touched on this before, but I think it's been kind of a while. So today we're going to talk about, I've been listening to a lot on enmeshment and codependency and having appropriate boundaries, and hearing a lot of that come and become more popular to talk openly about. And how does that look in the realm of chronic illness and dealing with chronic illness and having appropriate boundaries? Because when you decide to share that you live with a chronic illness, it invites a flood of inquiry, right? People are going to want to know how you're doing. People are going to ask about your treatment. People are, and it all usually comes from a good place. But it can get a little tricky. How much do you share? How much are you supposed to share? Do you have to share? What about if someone asks you an inappropriate question? Do you need to be rude? Do you need to be curt? Do you need to shut it down? Are you obliged to respond? All of that falls into the category of boundary placing. Boundary placing. So today we're going to talk about boundaries a little bit. For those who are here, I can't tell who's here. Charity. Here it is. So here we go, guys. In my 45 years of living on this earth and 34 of living with systemic lupus and multiple lupus overlap conditions, let me tell you, one of the most challenging components of having lupus is setting healthy boundaries with people in your life. It really is. And throughout your lupus journey, you will likely encounter instances where people will want to infringe upon you, their opinions, their reactions, their advice, their inappropriate questions, their projections, and all of what you should and shouldn't be doing, and where you should and shouldn't be going, and how much, all of those things. And they can feel intrusive, even though many of them, like I mentioned earlier, are coming from a good place, a caring place, a place of concern, right? But these can come out of nowhere, and they can feel like, whoa, they can feel more unpredictable than lupus itself from time to time. So setting healthy boundaries is something that when you have lupus is absolutely 100% necessary to maintain your physical, to maintain your mental, to maintain your spiritual, to maintain your emotional well-being, okay? Yes. I know it is so much easier said than done. And our hope is just to give you a few little tidbits to help you to start to process what your boundaries are and why they're important to you, and to acknowledge either if you haven't been setting boundaries or if you need to set boundaries, and who kind of comes first. There are big boundaries, there are little boundaries, but all of them are meant to establish better, healthy relationships with yourself and with other people in your life. Okay, they're actually meant to make your relationships better, not worse. So what are boundaries? What are boundaries? I'll put it in the comment box so I can put it here. Boundaries are a sense of agency over one's physical space, body, and feelings. It is saying, this is important to me to keep me feeling safe physically, emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise, okay? It gives me a sense of agency saying my body, my thoughts, my feelings matter, okay? They are important, absolutely important, because coping with an unpredictable and incurable illness like lupus is exceptionally stressful. It's not always going to be horribly stressful, but there are times it can feel very all-consuming and very stressful. Lupus can induce fears about the future and anxiety about the future, especially when attempting to navigate between flares and remissions and good days and bad days, good months, bad months. And these fluctuations can perpetuate a sense of helplessness, making it feel like your lupus has become the North Star of your life, and you've lost agency, you've lost control over your decisions and what people are saying about you. The stress of those feelings and the fear of the unknown can cause anxiety, worry, anger, depression, sadness, hopelessness. But setting healthy boundaries can give you a sense of that agency back. It can promote a sense of autonomy, which is why it's very important. There's a psychiatrist who, a psychologist, Dr. Quinn Creo. She wrote something that I have always enjoyed, that I've saved, and it says that boundaries state that you are in control as far as possible in what you want and don't want. And they also keep you safe in relationships, at work, at home, your partners, and that's really, really important. It's really important. There are a few ways to begin setting healthy boundaries in your life, especially if you're living with a chronic illness like lupus. First, you need to establish and tune into your own feelings. Ask yourself what you're feeling and what feels right and healthy for you, and then set your limits. You can only set good boundaries if you know what your limits are. That's really important. You can only set good boundaries if you know what your limits are. And the other important thing is to be direct. Brene Brown says it. Being clear is kind. Doesn't mean being curt or rude. It means being clear, being direct. Say what you mean and mean what you say. I feel that one a lot because it's very rare that people say what they mean and mean what they say. Consistency, follow up, say what you mean and mean what you say. Also, make your self-care a priority. Putting yourself in your lupus needs and your physical, emotional, spiritual needs first is not being selfish. It's survival. It is survival. You will not be able to take care of your children, your family, significant others, whoever else is in your life, unless you are able to function yourself. Setting healthy boundaries is about honing in on your feelings and honoring them and showing up for yourself and showing up for yourself and making yourself feel safe in sometimes this crazy, unpredictable world. Okay, so I have a cool acronym that I pulled from a blog I wrote on setting healthy boundaries. Where to go? And the acronym for the word boundary is very cool. So I'm going to just do one at a time. The B for boundary. Here it is. Be assertive. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You will hear me say that quite a bit. The O in boundary. Own what it is you set. Identify the boundaries that are necessary and own your decision. Do not be wishy-washy. Do not shrink it down to try and make someone else feel more comfortable. If it is, I don't want to be asked asked about my prednisone weight gain, or please don't make comments about my body. That, mean it, said it, and own what you said. Own what you said. Okay? It is important. The you in boundary is understand that there will be resistance. People are used to your family role, the way that you act. Oops, I didn't press that. They are not used to boundaries, and it will take time for you and others to adjust. You may feel like you're being a little cold, a little standoffish. You may feel like I have to manage other people's feelings about these boundaries I'm setting. I feel like I am being too harsh. Oh, they're making these changes, or they're trying to accommodate me. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be the only one who has this boundary. There will be resistance, and let them feel the tension. Let them feel the tension. It's something that's been really hard for me, honestly, because I don't know if you follow the Enneagram system for those that are watching, but I'm an Enneagram 2 with a 3-wing. I like to take care of other people. I'm a people pleaser. I want to make sure that everybody else feels good and needs are met, and I bend over backwards to make sure that I assimilate in a way that's pleasing to people. And then I want to make sure that whatever I bring to the table is pleasing to people so that they're happy with me. And it is a lot of work in that type of personality to set boundaries and to say, I can't spread myself so thin just to make other people happy. I can't, believe that my value is based on productivity and what I give to the table. That, I'm not worthy of respect. I'm not worthy of being treated fairly. I'm not worthy. All these things that can be really hard. And certain relationships may be used to you being a certain way. And as you grow, which by the way, we should all grow. We should all be changing and evolving every single day. Every single day. If you stop growing, you're dead. You should be, or you are either growing or you're committing to not growing. That you're actually making the choice to not grow. There is no, this is just the way it is. No, you're putting in the effort to stay stuck. You're putting the effort to stay in a closed mindset. Not a growth mindset. You are making that effort. You're making that choice, okay? But understand there will be resistance. People will not like it. If you say, I can't do that trip, it's just not going to work for me this time. I've got too much going on, and I don't have the energy or the time. And you'll get pushback or hurt feelings and things like that. But in the end, the point of healthy boundaries, healthier me, healthier you, healthier us, is for the good of the relationship. If it's a relationship that you care about and are invested in. Okay? The N in boundary is notice. Oh my gosh, no way. Already almost 11:45. Wow. Notice. Pay attention to whether or not your boundaries are wavering. You make your yes be yes and your no be no, right? And sometimes your no was a no, and then someone was just badgering, wouldn't let up. Like, okay, maybe I can make that work. So that's a waiver of a boundary. Yeah. That gives people mixed messages, and then they will continue to violate your boundaries. Don't give up is the D in boundary. Oops. Setting boundaries is new and can be challenging. Don't give up just because someone may try to violate your boundary. Keep being assertive and standing your ground. The A in boundary here Oh, you are welcome, Faith. Good to have you here. The A is a subtlety. Keep true to your word because it's all that you have. Believe in what you tell yourself. This means you need to change your behavior to match the intentions and changes that you are making. Believe in the boundaries. Am I making the right choice? Is that too harsh? Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm too hard. No, believe in yourself. Listen to that voice inside. When you feel icky and you know you're doing something to please others that you know is going to harm you, that's your boundary. I should have set that boundary now because now I'm having to push through something that I know is not good for me. And I'm going to feel physically, emotionally, spiritually gross. And it's going to make me resentful and maybe hurt my relationship with the people or person I'm with because they kind of pushed me to do this and they knew I had a boundary. And now I'm feeling mad, sad, angry, anxious, whatever the case may be. Yeah. Okay, the R, boundary. Getting towards the end here. It's important to remember that healthy boundaries will keep your relationships healthy. It may take a little time, that adjustment period, right, that we talked about, but boundaries help prevent enmeshment. Enmeshment, which is when you are so codependent on a family member, a sibling, a significant other, another relationship in your life, that there is no you and this person. It's just us. Okay? And if you are so influenced by another person's opinions, decisions, thoughts, comments about you in your life, that is called enmeshment. And that means that boundaries are non-existent or they're very low and they need to be set because it's not healthy to be enmeshed. It's really not. It's not. So boundaries help prevent enmeshment. And then the Y is you matter. You matter. Your well-being is just as important as everyone else in your life. So stop sacrificing your well-being, okay? If you're not taking care of yourself and being your best self, how can you help and take care of anybody else? No matter how uncomfortable it is to set boundaries, it's so important. It's an important piece of having healthy relationships. Okay? There you go. There you go. I think that's all I wanted to share. This is interesting too. I put this in here as well. Not sure if you have healthy boundaries. Okay. Maybe you're thinking, am I meshed? Do I have relationships that could use some boundary placing? Let me ask you these questions. Do you have a hard time making personal decisions without asking for advice from a particular person or people? Do you really hate to let people down? Are guilt and anxiety your primary emotions? Are you constantly kind of the victim of the situation? Are you usually a little bit annoyed in family scenarios or resentful? Do you feel that other people don't respect you? And if those questions you went, oh, I can think of, yeah, it does sound like me. If you're nodding your head on a few of those, it might be good to take some time to process and ponder and even wrestle with how can you set boundaries. Remember, the purpose of boundary placing is to encourage you to invest more of your energy and time in things that you feel are healthy for you. And remember another acronym. This is another one I really like too. It's jade, Jade. You do not have to justify, argue, defend, or explain your boundaries. So I'm gonna put my notes here for you. You do not have to justify, argue, defend, or explain. The acronym is J, your boundaries. What? It's pretty good stuff, right? Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different boundaries. There are emotional boundaries, intellectual boundaries, financial boundaries, sexual boundaries, spiritual boundaries. It's important to recognize all the various outlets that may drain your energy and happiness and may infringe upon your safety as well. And when it comes to your illness, sharing is absolutely a personal decision for you. I've had people ask me at Thanksgiving dinner how much weight I've gained being on prednisone. I've had people ask and kind of demand to know what medications I'm on and how much I'm taking. I've had people ask personal things about procedures. And it's a challenge having a platform because it seems like everything's out there, right? And I on one hand, I do want to be transparent about the highs and lows of lupus journeys, and especially letting you know that I'm in the trenches with you. And this is my personal lived experience as well. But even with me and this platform and the questions that I get asked all the time, people wanting to know exactly what medicines I'm taking, how much I'm taking, how long I've been taking, it can feel icky from time to time. It can. It can feel intrusive. And there are times when I feel I don't want to answer those questions, then I don't. If there are times when I want to talk about even vocational changes and vocational things with my past and my illness, I don't want to talk about it. And you have every right to say as little or as much as you want. You can say as little or as much as you want. You don't have to tell everybody everything all the time. Listen to your body. Sometimes talking about things can be traumatic. I've had to disassociate, just to be honest with you. Sorry, dissociate. I've added another, I always do that. It's not disassociate, it's dissociate. Right, and I said it the wrong way. I've had to dissociate a lot here. A lot. When you see me calmly talking about medical post traumatic stress disorder, or you see me calmly talking about a terrible doctor visit or a medication side effect or surgery, I have a lot of big feelings about those things. I went through hell with my illness. It's still not a walk in the park. I even have to shut my emotion, amygdala, feelings, sensory, all of that down in order to be present here and to be able to get through certain conversations. Maybe I even need better boundaries in that way. I say this to remind you, if there are things that you feel that you are having to dissociate from in order to appear a certain way for certain people, time to set some boundaries. Time to say, you know what? I don't want to talk about that. I'm not in a place where I feel comfortable talking about that right now, or I have been really exhausted all day, and quite frankly, talking about an exhaustion like that stuff's not going to do me any good. So, how are you doing? I mean, you can say it nicely. You can be clear. without being unkind. Yeah. Things to think about, right? Here's another great quote. As human beings, maybe I'll make this because we're finishing up here. Okay, I'll do my closing and then I'll do my. So, in closing, incorporating healthy boundaries into your life is a permanent form of self-care. It's self-care, and it's important. And there's no need to feel guilty or insecure about that. If you're living with a chronic illness like lupus or multiple chronic illnesses like many of us do, boundaries are no different or less than incorporating eating a well-balanced diet, exercising, or going to a support group, or making sure you're complying with your medication, or going to therapy, right? It might take some time for you to meditate and to consider the non-negotiables, which are the things that are most important to you, the lines that should not be crossed. And the best ways for you to approach those boundaries and incorporate them into your life. But when you do, over time, your well-being will be better off for it. And I'm going to leave you with this quote. As human beings, we have, this was featured in Psych Central. As human beings, we have our own thoughts, memories, and lived experiences, and sometimes that can become very blurred with someone else's. Boundaries are healthy for helping your identity and keeping the space. Okay, boundaries are really important to not become a mesh. And letting other people's thoughts and opinions and lived experiences trample yours, blur with yours, engulf yours. So there you go, guys. Okay, that's it for today. My bladder's about to burst, to be honest with you. Sorry, maybe that's a boundary I should have. Don't talk about bladder control. I have my rheumatologist appointment tomorrow. I've got labs done. We'll see where I'm at. Hopefully it's not too terrible. And check in with me about moving the support group one more week, okay? If you're watching now, the 16th, I'm double booked, so I'm going to move it to the 23rd. See if that works for you guys. Okay, let me know. And enjoy watching this from the beginning if you're joining us late, and I'll talk to you later. All right, take care, guys. Be well and settle.